This is the story of a math teacher who becomes a deadly sniper, capable of taking down targets from miles away. He hates violence and conflict, but one event changes everything. The story begins in a small village in Ukraine, where a couple, Mykola and Nastia, live a simple life. Nastia is an artist who creates wooden sculptures, while Mykola works as a math teacher at a nearby school. He is a kind and calm man, respected for his teaching. However, one student named Ivan, who comes from a wealthy family, often mocks him and makes fun of his clothes. Despite this, Mykola never reacts and remains patient. One day, while at school, Mykola watches the news and learns that Russia has launched an attack on Ukraine. The report shows that many soldiers have been killed and several areas have already been captured. That evening, when Mykola returns home, he learns that his wife is pregnant. The news fills him with happiness. The next day, he leaves for school on his bicycle, as usual. On the way, he notices two soldiers standing nearby, but their uniforms don't look like Ukrainian soldiers. For a moment, he feels something is off, but he ignores it and continues to school. When he arrives, the school is completely empty. Confused and worried, he checks the news and realizes that Russian forces have entered the area. Panic sets in as he thinks about his wife. He rushes back home, only to find two soldiers brutally beating her. Mykola tries to stop them, but they attack him as well. He begs them to stop, telling them that his wife is pregnant, but they show no mercy. One of the soldiers searches the house, and when he finds nothing, he sets it on fire before leaving. Watching her home burn, Nastia becomes furious. She picks up a stone and tries to fight back, but in response, one of the soldiers shoots her. Nastia dies instantly. Mykola is left in shock. He runs to her, holds her in his arms, and breaks down. A few hours later, two Ukrainian soldiers arrive at the scene. They are deeply saddened by what they see. They comfort Mykola and help him dig a grave. With a heavy heart, he buries his wife. After her death, Mykola is completely shattered. Now Mykola is completely alone. The Russian soldiers not only burned his home, but also took away his unborn child. Broken and filled with anger, he decides to take revenge. He requests the Ukrainian soldiers to let him join the army. They agree and take him to a military base. Along with him, Mykola carries a small wooden sculpture made by his wife. When they arrive, the senior officer is initially angry and tells him to leave. But after learning his story, he allows Mykola to join as a soldier. The next day, his training begins. Since he is just a regular man with no experience, he struggles a lot. He has spent his life teaching math and knows nothing about weapons. During training, when other soldiers quickly assemble their rifles, Mykola is the slowest and finishes last. Seeing this, the officer doubts that he can ever become a good soldier. One night, Mykola tells his senior not to call him by his real name anymore. His code name is Raven. Everyone laughs at him. Later, the officer announces that they are short on snipers and asks who wants to volunteer. A few soldiers step forward, including Mykola. The officer refuses, saying he isn't ready since he can't even assemble a rifle properly. But Mykola insists that he can become a sniper. So the officer gives him a challenge, to assemble a rifle in just 20 seconds. Mykola blindfolds himself, disassembles the rifle, and then reassembles it in just 18 seconds. Everyone is shocked. Even the senior officer is impressed and allows him to join sniper training. During training, Mykola is given an old rifle, while the others receive modern weapons. The officer tells him that if he wants something better, he has to prove himself. Without complaining, Mykola accepts the old rifle. The officer explains that a sniper must never move, not even an inch, no matter the situation, and must stay locked on the target. To test this, he fires shots near the trainees. Anyone who moves gets disqualified, but Mykola doesn't flinch at all. He stays perfectly still and passes the test. In the next exercise, the trainees are shown their targets briefly, then blindfolded. They must shoot based on memory and instinct. Some soldiers pass, but Mykola fails. His old rifle makes it harder to aim accurately. Then comes another test. The snipers must shoot using only the light from flares. When the first flare goes up, everyone fires, but misses. Mikola doesn't shoot. He waits. When the second flare lights up the area, he quickly calculates the distance using his math skills and takes the shot. This time, he hits the target perfectly. Everyone is stunned. No one has ever done it like this before. The senior officer is deeply impressed and officially gives him his chosen code name, Raven. A few days later, the colonel assigns Mikola to a mission. Intelligence reports say that Russian soldiers have taken control of a checkpoint. Soon, Mikola and his team reach the location and take their positions. Just as they are about to open fire, a vehicle approaches the checkpoint. The colonel immediately orders everyone to hold. On the other side, the Russian soldiers stop the vehicle and order the passengers out. They check their passports, search the entire car, and then keep the passports. When the civilians ask for them back, the soldiers start beating them. Seeing this, the colonel gives the order to fire. Mikola and his team eliminate all the targets. After returning to base, Mikola notices that several of his teammates are missing. They've been sent on another mission. The next day, he learns that many of them were killed by a Russian sniper named Sergei, known as one of the best. Days pass, and Mikola is sent on another mission with his team. This time, they plant landmines around the area and take position. Soon, Russian soldiers arrive, and among them is Ivan, the same boy who used to mock Mikola at school. When the colonel gives the order to fire, Mikola hesitates for a moment. But then he suppresses his emotions and shoots at a nearby landmine, triggering a massive explosion that kills all the soldiers. After completing the mission, they return to base. The colonel now fully trusts Mikola and often spends time with him. One day, he shows Mikola a photo of his family and reveals that he has 2 daughters. He says that his daughters don't even know he's a soldier. They believe he runs a business, and even his wife has kept the truth from them. Hearing this, Mikola shares his own story of how Russian soldiers brutally killed his wife. The next morning, they head out on another important mission after receiving intel that a group of Russian soldiers will pass through a specific route. Mikola and the colonel take position and wait. Soon, they spot 2 Russian soldiers, and Mikola realizes that one of them is the same man who shot his wife. He asks for permission to fire, but the colonel refuses. Overcome with anger, Mikola ignores the order and takes the shot, killing the soldier instantly. However, this exposes their location. The colonel gets furious, but before anything else can happen, Sergei, the most dangerous Russian sniper, fires a shot and kills the colonel with a headshot. Mikola immediately realizes his mistake, as his actions cost the colonel his life. Soon, heavy gunfire and bombardment begin, and the situation turns chaotic. Mikola decides to retreat, carrying the colonel's body back to base. Devastated and filled with guilt, he blames himself and swears to take revenge by killing Sergei. Not long after, he receives intel about 2 Russian snipers and sets out on another mission. Taking position, he waits patiently and manages to kill one sniper. During the encounter, the second sniper shoots him in the hand, but despite the injury, Mikola refuses to give up and successfully eliminates the second sniper as well. Badly injured, Mikola is taken to a secret base to recover. During this time, he receives a call from the army. The major informs him that they have identified the sniper who killed the colonel. His name is Sergei, the most dangerous sniper on the Russian side. Mikola returns to base, where the major briefs the entire team. He explains that Sergei has never missed a shot and has already killed several of Ukraine's best snipers. He is not someone to be taken lightly. The major also reveals that Sergei records his kills and uploads them online to break the morale of Ukrainian forces. Unlike others, Sergei usually stays in one position and hunts his targets from there. A plan is formed. 2 teams will move in together. The first team will attack from the front, drawing attention, while the second team will strike from behind. During this distraction, Mikola will sneak into the building and eliminate Sergei. With the plan set, they move to the location. As soon as they arrive, all snipers take their positions and prepare to fire. Meanwhile, Mikola quietly enters the building. Inside, he spots 2 Russian soldiers talking. Without hesitation, he takes them down and moves deeper inside. Following the plan, Mikola sends a signal to his team. As soon as Mykola gives the signal, the snipers outside open fire and take down the Russian soldiers. Inside, Sergei notices that none of his men are responding, and he senses something is wrong. He quickly moves to the rooftop, where he finds another sniper already dead. Panic starts to set in as he realizes he's surrounded. He calls for backup, but they tell him it will take 10 minutes to arrive. With no time to waste, Sergei returns to his position and begins searching for the enemy. Then he notices a small wooden sculpture on the table. Before Sergei can react, Mykola attacks him and kills him with a knife. The noise alerts another sniper inside the building, but before he can respond, Mykola throws a grenade and eliminates him. Soon, the backup team arrives, unaware that Sergei is already dead. When they try to contact him, Mykola answers the call and tells them they're all going to die. He then shoots the truck driver, causing chaos among the Russian soldiers. As they rush out in confusion, Ukrainian snipers ambush them and take them down one by one. A few days later, Mykola visits his wife's grave. He feels that he has fulfilled his promise. He has taken revenge on those responsible for her and the colonel's deaths. Standing there, he vows to serve his country until his last breath. And with that, the story comes to an end.